Video, I'm going to be using my brand new microphone and sharing with you what I think is the most important skill that could have the biggest and most transformative and positive effect on your life in basically all areas. And this is some sort of health hack or some kind of supplement or some kind of device that you could buy. In actuality, it comes down to something a lot more simple and basic than that, which is developing the skill of actually listening and therefore hearing what people are actually trying to communicate. And this might sound really obvious and really kind of stupid, but I can tell you it's quite impactful and quite transformative. And I can say that all of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my life are all ridiculously good listeners to like almost a freaky degree of perceptiveness, but most importantly, accuracy. Because I see that a lot of people try to listen and try to do this like conscious listening or mindful listening, or they do like creepy, weird eye gazing or uncomfortable eye contact or all these kind of socially awkward things that kind of miss the point and actually don't really accomplish the aim. Or people on another error that I see is people that are kind of really empathic or really quote unquote sensitive, which is great. And that's definitely a real thing. However, I'm mentioning this because of the factor of accuracy, because maybe you're picking up on something, or maybe it's just yourself. So you really always have to check in and have discernment, because accuracy is really the most important thing. If someone's communicating something, are you hearing what you want to hear? Are you hearing what you think they mean? Or are you actually hearing and getting what they actually mean? Because we all might use the same words, but we oftentimes have different meanings and different associations for those words. I mean, it's a stupid example. I could say pizza. And if you hate pizza, then obviously that has a completely different connotation than someone that loves it, versus someone that's maybe from New York and eats that style, or someone from Chicago, or someone from Italy, or whatever. So the simple concept of pizza can have such different meanings. But then now you start layering in more emotionally charged uh, words or concepts, and you start just stacking them into sentences and paragraphs. And very quickly, you can easily lose the plot and easily have no clue what someone is actually really saying, actually really trying to communicate. And I can give you a great example of this from my personal life. From YouTube, and it's quite recent. The videos I made about conspiracy videos and the one true conspiracy, which is obviously just kind of a tongue-in-cheek, slightly sarcastic title. But I cannot tell you how many angry, borderline hateful messages, emails, comments, etc., that I got about that video, calling me naive, calling me stupid, calling me a shill, calling me a globetard, calling me all manner of other worse insults, which I found to be quite interesting, because I never denied conspiracies or denied whatever those people thought that I was denying. I never said it in the video, and I look at the comments and I see people responding to these things that I didn't say, words that didn't come out of my mouth, and implicit meanings that I didn't put across. Uh, and the vast majority of people that were commenting and responding to that video weren't actually even responding or commenting to anything that I was saying, or really the points that I was trying to get across, that I was approaching from different angles. And the point of this, and the reason why I bring up the example, is because it's a great example of not being able to listen. Someone basically has all of their pre-existing emotional stuff, i.e. distortions, things that make them maybe not that great of a communicator or that great of a listener. So then, because I didn't say something that overtly and aggressively agreed and validated what they already thought and felt, they assumed that I must be against what they think and invalidating their experience and invalidating their opinions and invalidating their worldview, which is not what I was doing in any way, shape, or form. I was just adding a kind of sarcastic, kind of funny perspective to the whole thing, trying to lighten the mood a little bit. But of course, that went over the head of a lot of people. And I would say in reality, they probably didn't even watch the video, and they probably didn't even watch the entire video. They again just did what I said earlier. Can't listen, can't hear, and just based off their assumption and emotional reaction. And I think unfortunately, this is how a lot of people live their lives, or maybe just a lot of people on making YouTube comments. And I think that's just kind of not a great way to live your life. I think that probably leads to a lot of conflict, obviously. But in a personal life, like people they're close to and whatever, I think that's probably um, something that I think a lot of people should work on. It's something that myself personally, I've really tried to improve and develop over the years, and really try to listen to what people are actually saying and what they're actually communicating, and not just the words, because people again they'll do this stupid like communication trick where they'll just repeat back what you said, or you repeat back words that you said, and I'm just like, dude, really? Is this just communication, introduction to communication, like a community college level class? Like, you're not understanding anything. You just learn some kind of gimmick. um so I think, yeah, it's something that I've tried to work on a lot for myself, and I've noticed a lot of improvements and just a lot of benefits in my life, because being able to listen to other people is very useful, obviously, and then obviously being able to listen to your own mental chatter, because that your thoughts that are just running all the time, you're basically just talking to yourself, but maybe you have no idea what you're even saying or why you're even saying it or what you even actually mean by whatever that thing that just is kind of like ping ponging around your head. So if you can develop that and develop the greater ability to listen inside with accuracy, that tends to translate to other people. But again, we got to come back to the important concept of accuracy, not just going off of assumptions or what you think or hope people mean or based of your emotional reactions. So again, I'll leave it here. I mean, I could talk about this for hours, but I think just being able to actually listen and hear is something that can transform our lives and across the board, whether it's professional or personal, or again, even just self help or like having more self awareness. I think it's really an important thing. And hopefully that has made sense. And I'm sure all my ex girlfriends will absolutely disagree with any assertion that I made about trying to listen or be a good communicator, because I'm sure they all think that I'm the opposite of that. But aside from them, I'm amazing. I'm a great communicator, a great listener. Um, Another thing that I've noticed is that sometimes people don't actually want to be listened to, or have what they're actually saying or communicating be reflected back or um, suggested out loud, which I have another video about that I made years ago. And again, at the start of that video, I predicted all the negative comments are going to be like this, and then all the negative comments were pretty much exactly like that, because I knew a lot of people just really wouldn't listen or really wouldn't get what I was saying, would just emotionally react based on their gut reaction or whatever they were taking personally. So yeah. Anyways, we're all human. It's always a bit of a work in progress, because all we know is our own nervous system, our own perception. So we have to do the best that we can, and also at the same time not use that to constantly invalidate ourselves and other people. And I just mention that because people will be like, oh, that's just a perception, or that's just a perception based thing. It's like, yeah. I mean, it's daytime, the sun's out. Nighttime, the moon will be out. Like, water is wet. What other trivial, non helpful, irrelevant details do you have to add to the conversation? It's like, obviously, yeah. I mean, you're speaking English, okay? That doesn't invalidate what I'm saying. You're using words constructed into sentences, and you're using your vocal cords to make sounds that are we call words, like and. Okay, I just mentioned that because it's another goofy, weird thing I see people doing instead of actually being able to listen and communicate. So yeah, just being able to make the choice to have the degree of self honesty and discernment to being able to actually listen and actually hear what you're saying and what you're meaning and what's going on inside you, and then the same for other people, is a big step for a lot of people, I guess. But I think it's an important step that more more of us should take. So it's a work in progress for me. It's something that's really been useful, and I thought I would make the video and use my new mic. So hopefully that makes sense, and props to the 1.5 viewers that made it to the end, and I'll talk to you soon.